Things just keep getting better for the Detroit Red Wings. And no, we are unfortunately not talking about the regular team and the way they have been performing because, yeah, they're playing off against the red-hot St. Louis Blues tomorrow. They're coming off of a stint where they've been losing a bunch. Sure, they beat the Boston Bruins a few days ago, which was great to see. Tight game, 2-1. But ultimately, this video is about hope. It's about the future. It's about the guys that will be Wings later on. Because there certainly are some hot names that we need to be talking about in a video one more time. We're going to be heading over to the QMJHL. We're going to be heading over to the SHL. We're going to be talking about guys who have been putting their names on the map, and it all starts over with the Moncton Wildcats. You may have remembered this video. We made it a few days ago talking about Red Wings prospect Rudy Guimond, and how he is one of the most underrated Wings prospects that nobody is talking about. I still think that's the case here. Rudy Guimond's name has not been mentioned in the same capacity as any of the other top Red Wings stud prospects, and it's for obvious reasons too. Rudy Guimond, if you needed the scoop, is a 6th-round draft pick, 169th overall, 6'3", 172 left-handed catching goaltender out of Pointe-Claire, Quebec, Canada. He's a guy who didn't really have a great development in the prior years of his career. He was in the Yale Junior Bulldogs AAA U18 team before being drafted by the Wings in the 2023 draft. Then he made his way over to the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders in the USHL, where he wasn't really all too great, plus the fact that there were so many pieces in that Rough Riders organization. It was just kind of hard for Guimond to projectably get himself a spot. But heading over to the QMJHL, Rudy Guimond did something absolutely unheard of, because he wrapped up his Moncton Wildcats campaign a few days ago with 16 games played and 16 wins. He went 16-0-0 as he had a 173 goals against and a 940 save percentage. 3 shutouts puts him on top with the 0 goals against. And he legitimately was one of the top goaltenders in the QMJHL. We did make the video about this the other day. We had spoken about how he was at the time 15-0-0. Now at 16-0-0, Rudy Guimond wrapped up the 24-25 QMJHL season as the second best goalie in save percentage in the league. It turns out, though, that this status has carried over into the QMJHL playoffs, because for the Moncton Wildcats versus the Quebec Remparts in Game 1 of their series, Rudy Guimond faced 33 shots, and he made 33 saves. That's right, everybody. Rudy Guimond is out there with a 1 save percentage and a 0 goals against average with 1 shutout to open up the QMJHL playoffs. He's out there with an undefeated streak. He has not lost a game yet, knock on wood. He doesn't end up tanking and eliminating the Moncton Wildcats themselves, but he has been so dominant in the crease that now his record is up to 17-0-0 in the QMJHL. To help us out with some more discourse as to what this actually means and why this is important, let's head over to this post made on the R Red Wings subreddit by the Iser Plan. He went out there and posted about Rudy Guimond and his CHL record. I don't know why there hasn't been much buzz about this, but it's super exciting. Rudy Guimond, the Red Wings 6th-round gem from the 2023 draft, is rewriting CHL history books with the Moncton Wildcats in the QMJHL. Back in 1990-1991, Daniel Berthiaume set a CHL record with a 13-0-0 start to his career with Chicoutimi Saguenay. This season, Guimond didn't just tie it, he shattered it. After joining Moncton from the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders in the USHL in November, he went a perfect 16-0-0 in the regular season. Tonight, in his first ever QMJHL playoff game, Saturday, he rocked a 33-save shutout against the Remparts, leading Moncton to a 4-0 win in Game 2 of their series. That's 17-0-0, with a stellar 165 goals against and a 944 save percentage. A question from the comments, Need to Life 19. Is this team in Moncton just absolutely stacked, or has he been playing well? I don't really get much visibility on him besides these shutouts, and it looks like Moncton is blowing out the Q this year. But isn't the Q normally a high-scoring league too? The Iser Plan says, yes, absolutely fair question. It's a mix of both, but Rudy Guimond is very much for real. Yes, Moncton is a strong team this year, no question. They've been top 3 in the QMJHL standings and their offense can overwhelm opponents. That said, Guimond's numbers go beyond just team dominance. 1. The QMJHL is a highly scoring league, traditionally the most offense-heavy of the CHL's 3 branches. 2. For a goalie to go 16-0-0 in a regular season, then toss up a 33-save shutout, that's more than just team help, that's elite individual performance. And 3, his .165 GAA and .944 save percentage are absurd in that league. Also important, he didn't start the year with Moncton, he came from Cedar Rapids and immediately made an impact. He's outperforming the other Moncton goalies by a wide margin. So, while the team helps, Guimond is playing lights-out hockey in a league where even the top goalies usually have a .900 to .910 save percentage. As a 6th-round pick, he is looking like a massive sleeper. Now, before we shift gears to talking about the guys over in Sweden, I wanted to bring up one more comment from Xenon Warrior 666. It's interesting that he came from outside the CHL and is going ham in the QMJHL. The CHL is a joke for goalie development. Sebastian Cossa, for example, he looks like he could be a good NHL goalie, but as the whole state of Canadian goaltending is a joke, the CHL put too much emphasis on running up the scoreboard, which is fine till they get to the big league. Totally fair take. I know the reason he went to the QMJHL is because Cedar Rapids has a mass exodus of talent, and it was a nightmare for Guimond. At the same time, they removed the rule about NCAA-bound players being able to join the CHL, so I'm pretty sure it was partial desperation and part timing on Rudy Guimond's part to get some good experience before heading off to Yale. Coming from outside the CHL system and dominating in the Q shows how broken the CHL can be for goalie development. It's a volume-shooting league where systems and defense are secondary to offense, great for fans, brutal for goalies. Cossa has the tools but needed AHL time to unlearn bad habits from the WHL. Rudy's success might actually be because he didn't grow up in that chaos. Canadian goalies have talent, but the CHL pipeline isn't setting them up to succeed in the ways that it should. So that, of course, is an entirely other philosophical debate as to whether or not the CHL is proper for goalie development, but for a guy like Rudy Guimond, who had been developing in the American system for all those years, to eventually head back over to the CHL and start dominating, it does start to put your thinking caps on a little bit. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of a quick commentary on the 2 folks that we have in Sweden, because if you take a look at this post made by Let's Go Red Wings prospects, Axel Sandin Pellikka ended up scoring a great goal earlier today for Skellefteå against Färjestad BK, and it's an absolute wrister, man. Really nice, beautiful play on the rush, and guess what? Michael Brandsegg-Nygard goes out there and gets himself the secondary assist. So Red Wings prospects getting involved here on the rush, on the snipage, and giving Skellefteå some pretty good results here. If you wanted to see the scoop, Skellefteå defeated Färjestad 2-1 today in overtime, which is good enough to eliminate the team, I'm pretty sure. They have 4 wins in 6 games played. You can see Axel Sandin Pellikka and his production so far. He's got 4 points in 6 playoff games. He had a 3-assist night in Game 2 against Färjestad, and then the goal today for Skellefteå AIK. Michael Brandsegg-Nygard actually has been as productive too, which is great to see considering his regular season production. Although actually, looking at it now, I think Michael Brandsegg-Nygard's assist might have gotten taken away from this Axel Sandin Pellikka goal. That is unfortunate. He's still got 3 points in the 6 games so far, but Elite Prospects isn't displaying the 1 assist on the ASP goal today as an actual point that he had received. So I don't know if MSB has 4 points in 6 games like ASP, or if he's only got 3, but hey, I mean, his team ended up winning 4 out of 6 games versus Färjestad, so I think they're doing pretty alright. As long as Brandsegg-Nygard gets more minutes, which he has been given more minutes lately, 16 minutes today against Färjestad BK is the most he has had in quite a few months. So ultimately, if the coaching staff is trusting him a lot more, that pairs very well with ASP's extended development. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about these Red Wings prospects winning their playoff games and putting up points and great numbers in the process? Rudy Guimond and the QMJHL is doing some great things. Michael Brandsegg-Nygard and Axel Sandin Pellikka are looking great too. Let me know in the comments how do you feel about that. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.